All right, hey guys, we're back in Railroader today, and it is day 10 on this new save on the Cherokee Southern and Alarka. We've still got an overall that's pretty decent, 108%. There have been a few derailments, but we won't talk about that. Passenger service, 100%. Passenger equipment, 97. That stuff does deteriorate pretty quick. Operational safety, 94. I'll take it. Anything above like 50 is good for me. We still got that 25% discount, which is pretty epic. But we did finish the Ayla Bridge across the river milestone, the three-phase of that. So we made it to Bryson. We are currently in Bryson. And this is kind of going to be the base of operations, obviously, until we get down to the Alarka Junction, which is pretty much where I'm going to end this particular save because I want to get the coal and the copper mines up and running ASAP because they make good money. So anyway, let's get into it. We got the number 2 sitting down here, the OG, the number 2, the original mogul that you start out with. It's still our passenger locomotive. I did buy an Osgood Bradley for that 84 passenger count. So 84 plus 60. I'm excellent at math. That's like 144, I think. But anyway, we got to turn this thing around now that we have an operable turntable here at Bryson. And then we're going to run it back down and hook it up to our train, start the next day, see what we got. I did up tier a couple of industries. We'll take a look at that as soon as I get this thing lined up here. No, a little bit more. Yep. Is that it? Did that do her? Because it is, it's an hour shy of midnight right now. So I was working pretty darn late on this this previous day here, getting to day 10, but we're not doing too bad. The Mastodon is doing really well. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and get forward. Wake everybody up in town. Get on down here and hook up to our coaches. All right, let's check that map out real quick. And we got to kind of figure out where we are going to go from here. Okay, I think I do have everything aligned. So we're basically going to pull down in front of the two coaches. We have the original starting coach, and then I did buy the Osgood Bradley. So 84 and 60 passengers, respectively, which is nice. So we should get a little bit more passenger finance-wise. The kind of issue that I was running into was running the one coach from Sylva to Ayla over and over as I was just running out of space, believe it or not. So now that we've got Bryson, and being that Bryson's a pretty big station, and soon Alarka and what's the little one down there before Alarka? Cochrane. And then there's Hemingway. So there's actually going to be 3 more after this. So we'll probably stick with like 3 or 4 coaches, maybe try to switch to all Osgoods. They are pricey and they are very heavy. That's kind of the issue I'm running into this Moog so far. Luckily, things aren't too hilly, grade wise. Go ahead and throw that switch and back up on. Oh, blind everybody in the. Well, there shouldn't be anybody in the coaches. Obviously, it's the middle of the night. All right, let's go get back on them here. So we got those 2. I'm just setting this up essentially so we are ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it up to the depot here, and then we are going to sleep and see what we got and kind of go over our options and kind of figure out what to do because, trying to do things right and not doing the money cheat and kind of other little cheeses and things like that, it's very time consuming. Playing this, it's literally like a real job to a degree, obviously without in real life pay, but it takes a lot of time. So you got to figure out how you want to manage that time wisely. All right, so let's go ahead and just pull up here to the platform. We'll have this one set, ready, and waiting. And it will run to Sylva the following day here in just a moment. And then obviously back to Bryson. So still just one way back and forth. Round trip, essentially. We do want to get it out of the way of some of the switches here. And we'll go ahead and park her up right here. There we go. And it do be dark out here. What do we have waiting here already? So 22 at night. This is actually the first day. So I literally just finished and completed the bridge via the milestone. And I went ahead and purchased the Bryson Bridge, which goes across up to, where's it at? Right down here, past Appalachian Hardwood. So, you know, we're going to get to Hemingway, Larka Junction, Cochran. So, yeah, that's at least 4 more stations. Brooks is not a station. All right, let's go down to our Chungus, the big number 4. I've been having some pretty decent luck and experience with a Mastodon. It's a pretty good locomotive. You know, early mid game if you can afford it, and it's just not too shabby. Let's take a look at our locations first and foremost. Standard Oil, still Tier 3. Bryson Lumber and Coal, Tier 3. Freight House, Engine Service. Appalachian Hardwoods, went ahead and put that on to Tier 3 as well. So everything in Bryson should go ahead and load up here. Very next day, Ayla Farm Supply, 2. Whittier Sawmill, 2. We are going to bump it up to 3, though. So what that means, we're going to have to alternate the train cars coming out of the, you know, the logging tracks up in the holler, and kind of swap them out back and forth. So we'll figure that out. Stenzel, I'm going to leave that at 2. It's one of those where it's like kind of a lot of work and not a lot of money, which we'll go over as well. Hollifield Heating and Oil, I've got that on Tier 3 only because I like the tankers. I like seeing tanker cars, so we got that on Tier 3. Slay Mike and Schist, Tier 3 as well. Dillsboro, Tier 3. Blue Ridge Locust and Pin, I'm probably going to leave that at 2 because it's pretty heavy already at Tier 2. I mean, you do get quite a few cars. But again, the switching and the time it takes and the payout just isn't there. So like I'm looking for maximum pay with the smallest amount of work, like anybody else, right? Paperboard still ain't doing that right now. I think just to get Tier 1, we need like 2 or 3 pulp racks, right? I can't remember currently. Sylva Coal and Lumber got that at Tier 3. And Sylva Building Supply, Tier 3. Parsons Tannery needs the constant service as well with pulp, so we're not going to do that currently either. All right, let's look at our finances. We only got $6,000, but as you can see, we did purchase, where is it at? Our Osgood Bradley. We did get a nice discount though, so it only costs $5,800 versus the $6,600. Them things are pricey. I probably could have bought another engine, but I figured, what the hell? Let's go ahead and make it a somewhat decent, reputable road. Let's get that time window open. Sleep. So we got paid. We made $2,300 thereabouts. And let's hit reputation went from 108 to 107. I think that's because we got the new industries essentially, and just nothing has happened yet with those. We'll do another hour just so we have a little bit more daylight because I really don't like the pinkish hues that the sky has. And we do got some freight. All right, Bryson. All them dark greens is Bryson. A lot of that is the bridge site, obviously. So those are going to go all the way down. I could put those on the very, very front of the train, which I believe I will do. Let's see. Actually, no, it don't matter. We got all them tracks up at Bryson now. It don't mean a tootski. So let's go ahead and start throwing this train together. I reckon what I will do is grab this cut first just to keep all the Bryson stuff together, and then pull back and then throw it on the front of these, and then drop stuff as necessary. Let's get in the old Mastodon. She's still looking pretty spiffy. Let's check these bearings here. Still doing pretty good. Yeah, she can haul quite a bit. I mean, I've been hauling good, 20 plus car trains, 1,200 ton plus. As you can see, the caboose is at 54%. So she's not doing too good. We are going to have to repair that pretty soon. Let's go ahead and check those out. All right, let's go ahead and back on up. It's kind of good that I did decide to start using a caboose because it kind of has taken the brunt that the engine would have taken. So So that is good in its own right. If you're wondering about maybe using a caboose, most of the time I kind of use it like I'm using it right now as like a shoving platform. I mean, essentially you would want it on the rear of the train. But I mean, most of the time when I'm doing stuff like this, I just have it on the back of the engine itself. All right, slow down a little bit. All right, so about 3 or 4 of these cars are going to actual industries and Bryson, and the rest are going to the bridge site. All right, let's go ahead and check our axles out on these. 80%. Better yet, let's get our entire train, and then we'll check all the axles out on that. All right, we've run past the switch. Let's go ahead and back on to the rest of the cars, and this is actually quite ideal. So we right now at this point only have 27 cars, but this is 1,484 tons. This is probably the heaviest I've pulled with this Mastodon. So it's going to be interesting to see this thing getting over the grade at Cowie, over the river, down into Dillsboro, along the river valley, and all through that into Bryson. It should be okay, but the key point here is speed, obviously. 1,139 feet. This is going to be a chonker. This is going to be the biggest one that I've run in this new save, hands down. And then we've got about 8-10 more cars. Probably half are loaded, half are empty. I'm going to say it's probably going to be about 1,800 ton at the most. Probably not even. Probably more like 1,700 ton, 1,600 ton. Try and use the loco brake as much as possible. It ain't working, so we're going to use a train brake. Oh, dear. This is why we can't have nice things. Okay. Yep. So, yeah, we're going to actually... I'm just so used to using the damn locomotive brake all the time that, you know, stuff like that happens. So we got to be careful for that. We will we'll do a rolling check as a brakeman on the ground and check all these axle boxes out, just to make absolutely certain that we are good to go. And I love seeing all these different box cars, man. I'll tell you what, this mod, I know I talk about it every time, but it just spices up the play so much instead of just a brown or a red or, you know, something like that. So it's very, very nice. All right. Let's go ahead and just push forward a little bit. I'm going to pull the cutoff back some. And we'll start earling them up. I think you can oil them to, I think about 2 or 3 miles an hour. And then after that, it will not let you do it. There may be some mod out there, obviously, that does something like that. But yeah, some of these are pretty low. There we go. A little shove. She's having to work. So, yeah, 800 tons. I was on the nose. Holy hell. So, 35 cars, 800 tons, almost 1,500 feet. Jeez Louise. That one was really low. That was at like 39%. So, I'm glad we checked that. I don't know that that would have ran out by the time we got to wherever this is going, but it would have been damn close. All right. Western Maryland tag on there. All right, we can give her a little bit more juice. There we go. 50%. And this is one of the interesting things. Like, I was kind of put off by this when this was first introduced to the game, but it kind of just, again, brings your railroad more to life. Just making sure when you're switching all your cars up in the morning at the interchange and all that, getting your trains ready, and just making sure these things are lubed up. You know, I'm sure there's a Diddy party joke in there somewhere, but because you get a hot box, then you're going to be in trouble. You're going to start losing money from certain industries, your safety rating, all that good stuff. You start running into issues. All right, we're getting there. Still only 1 mile an hour. It's going to be interesting. I want to throw this thing in AE or automatic engineer and see what it does right off the rip. We will be losing a lot of these relatively soon because a lot of it's going to be at Dillsboro or Locust Pen Co. in Dillsboro. There's going to be some Sylva stuff here like the Sylva building supplies and things like that. But the name of the game is to get to Alarka ASAP. I want to get straight tier 5 out of my mind in the mines and the smaller jobs, the smaller industries. I'm honestly probably just going to leave them at like 1 or 2. Now, if you're new to the game or, you know, maybe you haven't played as much or something like that, and you are looking for a good payout, I can't recommend the Whittier Sawmill enough. I think I'm going to up tier that as well. I kind of have a dedicated engine for that currently, which is the old, well, it's not the old, it's the Big Mogul that I ended up purchasing. All right, and then here's the engine. So we're gravy, baby. All right, let's hop on the boost and let this tater chip rip. All right, what do we got? All green, man. Them are all gone. All right, Slay Mike and Shiz, Locust Pen Coast. We got to cut them off. So we actually don't have anything here at Sylva, which is actually kind of nice. All right, let's throw this sucker in AE Road and see how she do. Max power. 1,800 ton. This is the ultimate test here for the old Mastodon. It's in a unique area. Oh shoot, let me check that switch back there. The UI says it's okay. Yeah, she's already backing out of the ladder there. Okay, let's go back up. Check that. That is good. That is good. What we got back here? All right, them are still being filled out here. 14.9, 23, 19. Yeah, so those got at least another day, day and a half. It does look kind of dead in Sylva, not going to lie, without having the paper mill stuff going. We are going to start that soon and do the pulp rack because you can. Where's that little spur at? Barker's. You can fit. I can't remember. I used to do it. Old man brain. It used to be able to fit like 2 or 3 pulp racks there. God, I wish I could remember, but they were like right on the edge on the main line. And I had trains hit them at full speed multiple times just because I didn't push them back enough like a complete ding dong. And yeah, it do be like that. All right, here's the coal and lumber. We could just check the tracks like this, obviously. So let's make sure everything is 5x5 up to Dillsboro. And that's where she gonna cut them cars at. It looks like it is. Let's go ahead and transport up there. Beam me up, Scotty. All right, so what we'll do is we'll leave that as is. We'll pull that train just about. We'll go ahead and throw flare down right there. And that way I can back up and then shove the Dillsboro cars in here. That one's ready to go back out. Those are looking good. Let's check the map again. Let's see. We should be good all the way. There's nothing really too wild that happens through here. We definitely will need to stop at Whittier. Let's go ahead and throw that. Let's go ahead and see what's going on with the old Mogul up here. I've got a thing for this engine, man. Like, I needed something big, and that's why we got the Mastodon, but it's G25. It's a vibe. It is a vibe, and I like it. It can handle this stuff out here, no problemo. What do we got in here? 9.4 tons of coal. Hold on a minute. I just realized so the other day I had to finally swap out. So we had 2 coal guns, right, for our loader. I sent the one back, and we haven't gotten it yet because, man, that Mastodon eats some coal. Eats it. It's got a huge tender, right? So, you know how that goes. So, maybe it is in that lash up. I don't know. I didn't really look. All these are generally good to go. So like was said, tier 2 Whittier sawmill, it's busy. Like you think tier 2 is like, oh, a couple industries tier 2 will be 1 car, 2 cars tops. This, I literally swap these tracks out tit for tat day by day. These are getting loaded up still here. We still got some logs on here. So what I could do is go ahead and get the Moog and pull these out for the load that's coming in here today. But let's go back and check the Mastodon because I'm going to need that damn coal gun here soon. So let's go back and check on that. Loading. I swear, man, the bigger you make the map and the more cars you have, the longer it takes to load. It do seem to be like that. Alright, please have a coal gun. Dude, where is my coal gun? It's like I sold it. It just vanished. What the hell, bro? What's that right there? Okay, there she is. East Whittier coal loader. Alright, thank goodness. So it took, I guess a full day, right? So, like, I dropped it off. The next interchange serving didn't have it. So this is day 2 after I dropped it off. So, yeah, I guess it takes 2 nights. Yada, yada. All right, let's go check our passenger stuff back out at Bryson. See how many people are still in here. I think it said 22 when we checked over the previous night. Our little baby mogul here with her fancy stripes. All right, what do we got at Bryson? Damn! 75. I will take it. All right, let's go ahead and click that bad boy. And boom, 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 boom. Copy to all. That will load. And what we're going to do is, since I like to just leave this in AE road so it runs all the way out, I'm going to go ahead and check the line and make sure everything's 5x5. I don't think I have any cars sitting on any main line anywhere. I wouldn't put it past myself if I did. That would be highly problematic. But I have been known to do that. How much coal and water? We are going to need water, but we could get that down at Dillsboro. I think 3,000 gallons will get these things down to Dillsboro. So we'll go ahead and bypass Whittier. We'll bring that out. And I will need to side one of these trains when the passing daily comes up and drops cars at Whittier. We'll worry about that when the time comes. But this one here is ready to roll. We got our 2 coaches, 84 passengers. So it should help our reputation a bit more. The kind of problem with the passenger stuff is they do seem to deteriorate a bit more. And I think somebody mentioned in the comments one day that you got to have it above like a certain percentage to get the maximum rating. And it's got to be like 90 something. So it's got to be pretty high. I have already repaired the original here, but it's down to 95. This one I guarantee you has already dropped some. Yep, 99%. Literally just bought this thing. The only thing it's done is taken a non-revenue ride down to Bryson. But, it do be like that. Let's go ahead and check them bearings. There we go. They're all dialed in, baby. All right. Do we have anybody inside? 15 passengers. Yeah, they're still loading. All right. CSA number 4 just stopped in Dillsboro, so we'll hop on that as soon as we get this thing rolling. And we'll get this sucker on out of here and get her next to Ayla and then Whittier and beyond. All right, we're in the 480, the Mass Toden. We'll call it the Toden. Okay, so where are these cars? They are way down yonder. There's the switch. So we can most definitely back way up. All right, so locust pin, and that's it. So 2 locust pins. I love this area, man. It's like a love-hate relationship. I love the assets. I love the way it's just like a nice little cozy area with the industries. But I hate working it. I absolutely dislike it very much. Just like Ayla, Ayla looks amazing, and I feel like maybe that's kind of why they added some really nice looking assets, and the way they changed this kind of area in Ayla too is because maybe it's not as fun to work those. I don't know. It's just weird thoughts. All right, pop the couplers. Let's let the air do its thing. Equalize. Totally went the wrong way like a complete dingus. There we go. No. There we go. Okay. Just aired back up. So yeah, we'll drag it a little bit. Ain't no thing. All right, locust pin. Is this one empty? Yep. So we'll go ahead and open them doors up. And that one is not. The interesting thing about locust pin is they'll, obviously bring in product and then send out products. They'll bring in an empty. It'll go out loaded, vice versa, so on and so forth. I do need to be checking the water level in that thing because it drinks some water. Absolutely drinks water, the Mastodon. So we'll have to check that out. But I'm also trying to think future-wise, like what the next engines should be. I am wanting to bump up with the paper mill. And then more lumber. Lumber, I think we got that covered with the big mogul, the G25. It's a thick boy, the G25. I think it can handle it for sure, but we'll need something, for the pulp racks. And I'm thinking I might go again with the Mikado. I friggin' love a 282. I mean, they just look amazing. And it's called a Mikado, and you could call it Mike and all this other fun stuff. It's cool stuff all around. Love it. All right, let's go ahead and kick these backwards. But I don't know, man. I'm also thinking maybe do something weird. Get like an A26 Atlantic or something, I know it's strange as hell, but trying to do things a little bit different this time around. It's like why I went with the Mastodon as well. But when I initially started my first playthrough, the Mastodon didn't exist. So I didn't really ever play with it. So I'm glad it's there now to play with. All right, we'll kick them puppies. Oh, no. Clear the switch. Nice. There we go. We're gravy, baby. All right. But yeah, I'm really liking the Mastodon. It's, it's small enough. It's got a ginormous tender for its kind of tier, if you want to say. And it just looks good. Like, it's just a little thick biatch, Like, it gets the job done. Got that 40,000 pound track of effort. Not too shabby. All right, we'll go ahead and twist that handbrake down right about All right, we got to be careful using this this train brake like I've been doing. Slow it on down, and then we'll push the train by and then check the water in the tender. Be interesting to see how much coal it'll take going back and forth twice a day from Bryson. Skadoosh! All right, release the handbrake. Release the handbrake. All right, are we going forward now? Reverse. Damn it, I already forgot, man. Reverse, you dingus. There we go. Get that thing EQ'd up, buddy. All right, how we doing? 6,800 gallons of water. Almost 10... Excuse me, almost 10 tons of coal. Bro, wrong way. There we go. All right, so we're down to 1,700 ton now. So we just dropped off about 100 ton. Not too shabby dab. Make sure that switch is gravy. It is. All right, so we are working it. We'll let this thing get down to, let's see, what do we got to do? We got one at Slay. Slay some schist, bro. Yeah, so we got one at Slay. So we'll need to pop that. Sometimes, you know, some of these can throw me off and I'll totally glaze right over something. Whittier, Whittier, Whittier. Yeah, so I'll just leave all the orange tags in Whittier and let the mogul handle that. One of the reasons I like to have multiple engines, you know, in my previous saves, when you can afford them, obviously, is you just have like your road engine or two, maybe like a spare when you need to double a train, and you know, have some at like specific areas as switchers. Back down in Whittier, we are in the number 3, the mogul, and we'll do a little work with this old gal down here. What do we got back here? 9.4 tons of coal. Yeah, she's got plenty. We ain't got to worry about this one for a minute. Man, I don't know about you guys, but the more I play, the more I wish we had the original aliasing from the original game build. It has gotten terrible. And I know there's, you know, railroader utilities, which I use, that doesn't really help. And even if you go in NVIDIA control panel and change some of those settings, it does absolutely nothing. I've got DSR right now on, and it's still horrendous. I really hope we get that shader back that kind of adds a little slight bit of like fuzziness to it, just so it's a little bit easier on the eyes, because it's just so jagged and sharp, and they definitely changed something. I don't know if it was admitted initially, but you know, I know I'm not the only one to have noticed this, and I think that's kind of the reason why the railroader utilities came out. And it does help, but it, you know, I don't have the best PC or gear, and it turns mine into a friggin', sounds like a damn jet. Like, it gets hot in this room with, you know, that maxed out. So it is nice to have, but it's very intensive as well. I mean, just look at the tracks. Unless like that kind of shimmer jagginess, it just doesn't look great. Not a good look. Alright, about half of them cars are unloaded. A little over half. So we'll go ahead and work these. We'll pull them back out to our yard back here at Whittier. We'll try and slang them in the yard so we don't have to ride them all the way back in there. And then the logs, I'm not going to fast forward time to get those emptied out quite yet, because you know, when you're doing your milestones and you're changing time and speeding time up and things like that, you want to get that milestone, or at least I do. I don't know about you guys. I don't know how you guys play. But you want to have that milestone task or job at the place it needs to be as soon as you possibly can, and let it soak as long as possible, so it doesn't sit there for more than a day. Because, like, I like to have everything buttoned up with a bow on it to take it all back to the interchange by the end of the night. I don't care if it's 2 a.m. But, you know, that's just how I play. Slightly OTC and anal. I don't know if you can say that word on YouTube. So we'll say anal. Alright, handbrake. Handbrake. Let's go ahead and hop back off here. We need to check these axles, so we should do that as well. How are these looking? 98, 98, gravy. That one's got dimensional lumbers in it. All right, let's go ahead and reverse. That one as well. Those are oiled. The P&L lead, baby. So one thing's funny about this mod is like it'll have, you know, railroad tags from the original game, and then it'll say something else like that says Lehigh in New England, while that says Southern. And it's, you know, it's just a limitation of the game. There's not too much you can do about it. Either that or I installed it incorrectly. But who knows? All right, looks like number 2 arrived at Whittier. I do have that thing tasked to pull in here and go ahead and fill up. That way it'll give our number 4 Mastodon time. So hopefully I can get this damn thing back into the yard before it comes up. We shall see. Do I have a fusee down there? I don't think I do. Alright. Oh, God. Went a little too far. Alright. Forwards. There we go. Now we are not tied on to the brakes, so we're using straight up gravity. And independent brake. Got $55 for 34 fares. That train be a comin'. Okay. We're not going to have time to do this. So we're actually just going to have to wait real quick here. Yeah, we're going to have to wait. This is not an optimal spot to wait. So we'll go ahead and throw the handbrake on that bad girl. Go ahead and throw that switch so we don't have any issues with the passenger. And I think, okay, so sometimes if I don't throw a fusee down, what I'll do is like leave a track misaligned. So like, for example, I had this set how I'm setting it right now until we ran over it and ruined it with the mogul there. And then I'll have this one like set, well, actually like that. So, you know, when you look at it on the map, if you don't want to go all the way and transport somewhere to put a fusee down or something like that, just misalign the tracks to where they can't be like springed out or something like that, and the train will stop, or it should stop. It generally stops. But anyway, we should have that passenger chooch coming any minute now, and then we can fill that up. All right, we got this old gal stopped. Yeah, well, did I not set it right? No, I did. Yeah, it shouldn't go any further than that. Let's see what it says. Yeah, switch lined against us. Good deal. All right, so we'll go ahead and stick this in Manuel. Hola, Manuel. There we go. Boom, boom. Reverse. And we'll just top her off. May as well. In that way, it's going to give our number 4, the Toaden, you know, time to get where it needs to be without having to stop both trains. If I can just end up stopping one of them, that is a lot more optimal than having to stop both, if you get my drift. Because I'm all about efficiency. It may not seem that way, but yeah, we could use a little touch of water. There we go. Skaboosh. All right, coal. That's plenty. We can worry about coal on the way back. So while that's topping up, we got our lumber train over yonder. Let's see where the numero cuatro is. Number 4 stop for a fusee. Good deal. That means we can go ahead and get this son of a gun and kick off the sleigh and shiz car. Let's see, where should go? Sleigh and schisms. Right there. Good deal. All right, let's go ahead and run down yonder. So we will kick. Go ahead and set that to manual as well. And reverse. All right, slant schist. It's that one. Do we have enough room? No, we do not. All right, so let's go ahead and push back some here. Skadoosh. Go ahead and pop that coupler. We'll let them shimmy on down yonder. We'll go back forward. There we go. Go ahead and throw the handbrake on that one. This train's about to get real small real quick once we get to Whittier. And it still doesn't take that long, man. I don't know. Initially, when I played, I used to think it took forever to go between Sylva and Whittier. And it really doesn't. It's nothing like going between Bryson to Andrews, for example. It's, I mean, I don't know. At one point, I may get down there. But I wish the developer had set up a way to allow the player when starting a place to start, and you can see that in the menu when you first start a game. You can see starting position, but there's only one option. So I guess, you know, maybe the option was supposed to be there initially, but just never came around. But it would be nice if you could maybe start in Andrews. You know, I know that it would be kind of weird going backwards, like milestone wise and things like that, just because there's nothing down there except for the stuff in Andrews. It is literal middle of nowhere. So, you know, I kind of get it. But it would be nice to be able to start down there. You do have the pulpwood area, so you could work snowbird paper down in Andrews for certain, because you got that that little logging area right there that only does pulpwood, I believe. All right, let's go ahead and back on up on our train. We'll just leave that one there for now because that one is going to be full soon, and I'll just come back by and switch those back around. Generally, when I'm running my daily, I like to get this son of a biscuit moving. I don't like to waste any time, especially like I mentioned earlier with the whole milestone thing. I like them things to soak or marinate as long as possible so they're done by day's end. All right, we're hooked and booked. Let's go, baby. A road, boom, boom, boom. There we go. She going on down to Whittier, which ain't too far. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and just bring this train into Whittier. And then we'll set that passenger train on its way. We'll take the biggest inside track here into the yard, which we're already aligned to. We'll throw a fusee yonder. And let's go ahead and click on this old gal right here, doing a million things at once. She's topped up. Plenty of water in that sucker. There we go. All right. We got to clear this switch, and then we'll pull her into the yard. Put her in track 3, the little tiny kind of loop on the outside. That way I can get this stuff into the yard, and Whittier will be booming, man. Whittier will be probably the busiest I've seen it yet in this playthrough. Let's go. So the passengers are going to have a nice little sightseeing tour for some freight action here. Let's see, it looks like we're lined up very nicely. Okay, so I'm trying to think, can I store her here? Because I'm going to have to pull in, cut the Whittier cars on this track. Or I could actually just leave them on the track, the fusees there, and then just keep on with the Mastodon. But I'm going to try and pull in here too with that mogul behind us, the G25, just to go ahead and free up the Whittier sawmill. We'll go ahead and park her up right here. We'll get back on this one, the number 3. Release that hand wheel. There we go. There we go. I mean, that one there, that little train is 400 tons, a couple of cars. Wood is heavy. Statement of the century. Or a statement of all time. Or something like that. Both of those are filling up nicely. Another thing I'm going to try to start doing is I hate juggling cars, right? When you got multiple cars in an industry siding, and you got a freshie and an oldie, and you got to swap them around. I'm done with that. I'm going to start leaving them. And I know this is nothing new. People are probably like, bro, I've been doing that since the beginning. And yeah, I get it. I don't know why I didn't think to do that, but I'm just going to leave both these bastards here until they're full. And then if they send me 2 empty ones, we're going to do the same thing. I'm done juggling little tiny industries, you know what I mean? Because it gets busy, man. And I'm trying to lessen the load for when we get to the mines, because working, Robinson ain't going to be too bad, but, the copper mines, that stuff can get a little bit tricky as well. There we go. All right, let's go, 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 go. We're going to try and slang these into the yard. $10-mile-an-hour achieved. Go! To infinity and beyond. There we go. And brakes. All right, we're going to ride these suckers. I hope 10 was enough. I tell you what, man, that G25 is a good looking unit. I love the way that thing looks. Some of the models in Railroader do look better than others. For shizzle. Alright, they should have enough momentums. Alright, we'll go ahead and throw that like that. Our other train should be rounding a bend here any moment, and it'll be busy. And we'll get on top of him. That way we can rock this hand wheel. Let's go ahead and get old girl right there off of the tracks. There we go. Flick that switch back. Yeah, it's still going to take a minute. I should be able to get down there and throw that switch. Yeet. There we go. And we'll roll on back with her. Alright, she coming. Good deal, man. Good deal. Alright. We're lining them up and knocking them down. It's only 8:15 in the a.m. Oh, dear Lord. I just lost both of my feet between these rail cars. Not optimal. Then we get back up here. A boing. There we go. Alright, we don't want to go too far, because we got to make sure this train can get out. But I don't think it really matters down yonder if it gets blocked. And we'll go ahead and twist that up. That should be just enough. Good deal, buddy. All right. So we're good there. Let's go ahead and pull this old gal backwards. And we'll get her out of the way. Get her ready to choo-choo-rooch. We'll throw that because we're probably going to need to go around those cars on this side with the number 3 here. Because this is basically going to be the lumber, Whittier, sawmill and Whittier switcher, essentially. Alright, let's make sure we got plenty of room there to go by if we need it. And skadoosh. We're good, guys. We are gravy. Alright, who do we got? Whittier sawmill, Stencil, house track, heating and oil. There's our coal loader. Sawmill. That is not optimal. Those being split. And then Bryson Bridge. So we're going to run this son of a biscuit down to Bryson as quick as possible. So yeah, that might be good. Yeah, that's going to be perfect. Plenty of room, guys. Plenty. lentils. All right, let's run down there and get it. Start getting her done. All right, number 4, we need to click on that. That is the caboose. That's not what I wanted. Number 4, there we go. Select manual. Okay, boom. We should have room. Yes, I believe we do. All right, let's go ahead and get rid of that fusee. Tie the handbrake on that. And we're going to let the number 3 get to work on this while the rest of this train gets on down to Bryson and starts building that bridge, because I'm just salivating at the thought of getting down to that damn coal mine. That's where the money is, guys. Even tier 2 and tier 3, big money. That's a lot of dang cars, man. I know these milestones for the bridge jobs typically have a lot of cars, but yeah, I mean, there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cars maybe for Bryson itself, and then the 10 or 12 or whatnot for that. All right, let's get that switch thrown. There we go. We'll ride this car and make sure we get the switch thrown down here. Mastodon been a good old gal though. Definitely a decent early, you know, kind of mid game engine for sure. It pulled this train no problems, obviously with the speed, no issue at all. I mean, it got here pretty dang quick, which was very optimal. All right, let's get this thing running down there. It's got 40,000 pounds of tractive effort, so it can handle a lot. It's got the 4.2 factor of adhesion, and then the medium curve radius, so it can still take, you know, you can take this thing up into the tree chopping tracks, you know. But it is heavy. She is heavy. Was it almost like 270,000 pounds empty? But it does hold 16 ton of coal, which is absolutely enormous for an engine this size anyway, and then 10,000 gallons of water. But it's been doing pretty good. I'm pretty happy with the choice of choosing the Mastodon. All right, we got trains heading every which way. The number 2 is heading on down to Sylva, and then we got the number 4 heading to Bryson. So now, let's go ahead and work out what we got to do with the number 3. Numero 3. All right, we're still in manual. That's good. All right, so let us see. How are we going to do this one? Sawmill, sawmill, sawmill. We can shoot those 3. Could use this track over here because I ideally want them in front of the engine. We can shoot them over there. Kick these. Yeah, kick them. Yeah, we can actually leave coal loader with those. So yeah, we need these 2. So we'll kick them first. Yeah. Okay, so that's what we'll do. All right, let's go ahead and get to work. Here we go, number 3. Get her done. I think we're already lined out on this outside track here. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. We gone. All right, we saved some time, of course, pulling them Sylva cars out that are ready to go back to the interchange, thankfully. Go ahead and back up here. We gotta go all the way down. Let's think here. Is there an easier way I could do this? No, I'm gonna have to shoot some cars regardless. All right, let's get down this other track here. Right, so I can either kick these 2 in the front or kick the ones in the back. I just don't know. I could kind of kick them one by one down into the little ladder that goes down to the sawmill, but I just feel like that'd be a lot more work than it's worthwhile. All right, we hooked up. We will be using some air. Go ahead and pull off this handbrake down, chum. All right, so yes. Let's see. Okay, sawmill, boom, boom. Yeah, so we'll leave them here. Boom. All right, let's go. And then we will kick. Yeah, we'll just kick the rest on this outside track here. I reckon. Stingel, house track, heating. And then a coal loader. So it's these puppies right here. Okay, switch is set. I'll give her a good run here. 10 mile an hour is what we want. Kabloomers. There we go. We'll hop off, let them roll. Goodbye. Oh, wait, no, we still want to go forward. I get confused in Whittier down here. It's this switch. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Number 2 stop for a fusee. Shoot. Where did I have a fusee? Oh, darn it. Oh, I left it there for the number 4. That's the problem with fusies. I know you can do the pass fusee deal. Let's see. Pass fusee. There we go. And she's gravy. Now we got to click back on the number 3, though. Boom. There we go. Okay, we just going to roll these back on down, chill. So we got 5 cars. Yeah, it seems to be about par for the course. Whittier Sawmill Tier 2. So for the logs in Tier 2, I think you need 11 cars. And then Tier 3, you need 14, I think, ideally. For the captive, I can't remember. Can I remember? All right. We'll get them right about there. And handbrake it. This should stop them. All right, we'll get this down here onto here, and then we'll drop these back off at the lumber yard. All right, number 2 has arrived at Wilmot. Doing pretty good for only 8:30 in the morning. Go ahead, untie the handbrake on now. Give it a little boot. Lace them up. There we go. We gone. $10 at Wilmot. That's pretty crappy. That is not worth the cost of fuel, if I'm honest. Chugga. So the full coal gondola that we got, I'm kind of interested where you guys leave yours when you have a full coal gon. You just leave them both there and swap them as needed. I've just been throwing the other one right there on that secondary track. I know it can get in the way of, obviously, repairing cars and engines and things like that, but it just seems like the easiest place to put it. I guess you could put 2 on the pad at the same time, obviously, but the point being is that you need one always coming and going, because it's the kind of deal where you can't procrastinate. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta have a spare one no matter what, basically, or you're gonna be up Craps Creek without a paddle. Alright, a little bit past the switch, watching them wheel weights do their job, and independent. Climb up on the stirrup there, reverse, let's go! But I want to get this sawmill popping, guys. I would imagine each one of them storage or loading tracks over there can probably take, what, like 8 cars a pop? Because at Tier 2, man, I feel like the sawmill at Tier 2 is pretty hardcore. Like, I didn't really think about it initially restarting, or even, I didn't even really mess with the sawmill when I first started playing. When this game first came out, I sold the cars immediately. I didn't even bother with it. I wanted to expand my horizons. Let's be honest. I wanted to get all the way across the map as quick as possible. And guys, that ain't what it's about. You know, I know that now. It's obviously, as they say, it's about the journey and not the destination. Because you get there and it's like, all right, now what? All right, let's kick these bad mamma jammers. So yeah, I'm taking my time this time trying to do it right. Right-er. Boom, let's get on there. And brake, independent. Oh, shyster. Okay, that is highly maddening. That is highly, highly maddening. So, sometimes when I do that, you'll have to pardon my dog having a fit back there. Sometimes when I do that, it doesn't do the friggin' the hoses. Like when you do the shift click. I don't know if it's like clicking or what. I don't know. It's it always happens at the wrong possible time. Like so. Alright, let's try that again, shall we? 7, 8. There we go. So like now it almost just completely defeats the purpose having even tried to do that. So we got to run back past the switch anywho. Alright, there we go. Brake. Throw that switch and we're just going to leave that engine right here. Oh crap. Oh crap. Yep. Yep. Okay, just in time. Give me that cha-ching, baby. Cha-ching. $335. It's not too bad. Sawmill's pretty profitable. I know someone's got like an Excel spreadsheet with all this crap on it somewhere. Has to be. But yeah, it's, you know, I'd like to know the actual numbers. All right, Stenzel. What are your house track? Heating and oil. Coal loader. We could actually just leave that there. And I'll get on the front of these with the MOBA and pull them out and start working those. The number 4 has arrived at Bryson Bridge as we sit up here and overlook from the bluff. It's a nice picturesque area. Nice being here in Bryson again. And they all fit. I had a oh crap moment from the first time I completed this. I feel like I remember there being an issue where all the cars did not fit here for whatever reason. These do, but I think you get one phase where they don't all fit, and it's totally bogus, man. All right, we'll go ahead and throw that. Throw her in manual forwards, and we'll start working our first industries. We don't want a bad rap for these industries just yet. Let's give them a couple days before we start not doing so hot, if you will. All right, who do we got here? Lumber coal, Standard Earl, Appalachian Herd Words. So let's see. Go ahead and stop right here. Throw a handbrake on that one. And we'll go ahead and kick this one down there where she goes. This one you got to be careful. Looks like number 2 has arrived at Sylva, made it all the way. I think I went ahead and took a tier 2 or 3 for standard. Yeah, and it's just one car, man. Thought it would have been dose. All right, we'll throw that switch out. There we go. Throttle up. And we're going to ride this one down. This is one of the ones where you got to be careful kicking stuff. We don't want to go too quick, because that's a big old downhill yonder. We'll let it clear and throw the switch here. There we go. Keep backing up. We'll let the train slow down, though, just so it doesn't smack into the cars back there too fast. And let's go ride this puppy. Oh, dear, it's happening. It's happening. Handbrake. And release. This is one of those deals where it's probably best, instead of like right-clicking and hitting like that, to actually hitting the physical handbrake itself. There we go. That ought to do it. Kablammers. All right, we done did our first Bryson industry. Hell yeah, $84. That's pretty good money. I mean, that's most of the industries, you know, pay between like 60 and 70 a car. So that's not too bad. And then we'll shove Bryson Hardwoods down in here. I know Bryson Hardwoods isn't a lot of people's favorite, you know, as far as like work for the money, but I like the area back here. And, you know, one of the big things, well, I'm going to like to try and take a lot of higher tiers than Bryson is just to fill Bryson out. Because I feel like Bryson, for as big as it is always pretty empty. So just heard my dog knock something down in the background. Gonna have to go check on that. We're riding Appalachian Hardwoods back into the industry. Industry. There we go. Okay, so this is one of the funky ones where there can be like two different kind of sub-industries on one track. I know the coal goes, I remember from last time, if IIRC correctly, it goes back here. So the coal goes on the very back. It'd be nice if they had some kind of like little asset there for the coal loader. So we'll kick that. The car in front of it, I don't recall. I'll hop down and hop on there. It's a bit of a downhill back in here, and luckily there is that outer track. So, you know, you've got a little bit of room to work with. Including this big part of the line. There actually used to be another railroad, that's why this line is here, that went kind of up on the north side of the Fontana Reservoir. Before it became a reservoir, where the reservoir is nowadays, there was a big, you know, really kind of well-to-do town down in here, where in real life it's kind of spooky. There's buildings under the water to this very day, and there's a couple out in the woods, a couple old derelict buildings. It's very spooky. I've been hiking back in there before. There's this old, they call the tunnel to nowhere, this tunnel that goes through the mountain with a road. You can only walk through it. You can't drive down it, but it's back up that way as well, kind of west of Bryson itself. But yeah, it's funny. It was just one of those towns, like a lot of towns in these areas, where, you know, the federal government decided to use hydropower, and so they dammed it up, and it became a ginormous lake, essentially, a reservoir. All right, we got that dropped off. Good deal. So yeah, look that up if you don't know anything about the area. It's actually pretty interesting, and there was a couple of railroads back in there, or a line anyway. All right, so that one goes back there as well, so we can kick that one. So these were actually laid out very nicely for our first time here. We'll just do a 5 mile an hour on that one. We'll pull back forward. And then we'll throw with that switch. Boom. Boom. And then we'll be done at Appalachian Hardwoods. Woodskis. All right, let's go check this car. Got a little bit to go. We'll go ahead and pop that one as well. We're just picking them and kicking them. A little bit further. There's a bit of a grade, like when you first come around that corner behind us. There we go. We'll go ahead and throw the brake on that. And we'll go ahead and throw a brake on that. There it is. There it is. All right, Bryson lumber. So these have 2 different spots. All right, let's get up yonder and spot those where they need to go. See if I can remember where these go. I think the coal goes up on that thing there. Yeah, and then the other one goes there. So we're going to have to sling. We're going to have to try and sling that one pretty fiercely. We're going to have to put some spicy, muy caliente stank on it. And hope it gets the job done. Let's throw that switch. So the boxcar will be first, and now that I think about it, we need to order a coal gondola for this coaling tower. So it gives you a little bit when you purchase the bridge and finally get access to Bryce. We got 37 tons in there, so that'll help for a day or 2. But we definitely need to. I'm gonna go ahead and do it right dang now. Let's see. Should we get a big one? 70 ton will cost us. So we got the discount. Holds 82 tons. Versus 3-bay holds 50 tons. 3-bay, though, is only $783. That bad boy is $1,200. But I figure, what the hell? When in Rome? Boom! We bought it. It should already be there. I feel like when the game first came out, you used to have to wait a day. But it should be down there. But that means next time we'll have it to bring down here the next morning. Man, that boost is looking rough, but I like the way stuff looks. I wish the condition of rolling stock didn't reflect its looks as much, if you catch my drift. Shoot, we need to turn that turntable a bit. We ain't gonna have no room. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah. I feel like now that's why I remember having the turntable locked right there. Let's just have a little extra running room. And is that our doggy? That's our doggy. There we go. We got plenty of room now, guys. All right, good deal. Let's get up on the back of there. All right, so box curve going straight ahead. Colgon going on that big ass ramp to the right. Okay. Going back this puppy all the way up. We're going to need lots of running room. All right, that all to that. That all to that. All right, we'll go ahead and throw that switch out. Okay. All right. Okay. All right, let's do this. No foul ups, Sean. Here we go, baby. Here we go, baby. Give me 12 miles an hour. Boom. There you go. Oh, no. And brake. Is it going to make it? Is it going to make it? All right, we'll go ahead and start backing the train up. Or what's left of it anyway. That should. This, the damn coal gondola is going to be the tricky one, man. The tricky one. We're still going to back up. I'm going to say at least like 20 miles an hour. I honestly don't know. Before I was taught the dark art of kicking within Red Railer, I used to just have to go around the car and shove it up there, and it was a whole thing, and it took forever. But now what the hell? Oh, it's rolling back. I totally forgot about that, guys. Damn, I didn't realize that was inclined as well. Okay, so we got that lined. We got that lined. Let's go ahead and back. Oh, dear Lord, we fell in the shark pit, the alligator, shark, crocodile pit, snakes. All right, let's back up a little bit more. All right, here we go. All right, guys. The mountaintop of today's video, of today's gameplay. This one stupid car. 20 mile an hour. Come on, baby. Go! Shit. I didn't hit it. I didn't hit it. I didn't hit it. Oh, dear God. It's happening. It's happening. Oh, dear. Oh, no. No. Okay. That's not optimal. We just damaged the caboose further. Fudge. Fudge and fudge. Mother fudge it. All right. Let's try that again. This is tough, man. So we need to get all the way back. Wait a minute. Wait a cotton picking minute. If I didn't have the boost, I might be able to just spin around, guys. It just dawned on me. Okay. All right, let's get it this time, Dad Nabbit. We're going to have to back up more. God, I just damaged the car. I didn't damage it too much. It was only 99%, which isn't terrible, but... All right, now. Do we need 20 mile an hour, too? Like, I feel like we do. All right, we don't need as much cutoff, though, so let's bring it down to, like, 65. Grip it and rip it. Let's go, baby. Come on. $20. Oh, God. No. We got it. We got it. Holy hell. Okay. All right. I actually double clicked it, guys. And the first time it said clear number 4 first. Holy shnikes. Did we get it? Did we get it? Come on. Get up there, baby. Get up there. Get up there. Go. Go. Yes. Yes. Hell to the yes. We did it. Ooh, that was like the most excitement that I'll probably have all day on the road here. All right, let's go ahead and fill this bad girl up with some agua and coal. Man, that was intense. I generally had fear and anxiety with that because I'm trying to keep the reputation good, guys. Like it's really gonna help, especially early game when you gotta buy stuff. You need that reputation. Let's see. All right, let's back it on up now, and then we'll get this thing filled up. We'll go check out number 3. And how'd we do finance-wise? So we got $220 alone at Sylva Depot with the passengers. That's not too shabby. Dillsboro, we got 180. Wilmington, Whittier, 55. Yeah, so the big dog stations are where it's at, obviously. But this thing did use quite a bit of fuel. And by fuel, I mean, you know, coal and water together. Just getting out here. So, all right, let's go ahead and pop that down. There we go. All right, let's go see what old number 3's up to. And get crack-a-lacking down there. See how the logs are doing. But I'm interested, guys, in what you think as far as where we go next. We're obviously not going to get the coal or the copper just yet. So what do you guys reckon? You think we get more lumber and just try and max out with this? Because this does make good money. It's a decent amount of work. In like the money to work ratio, it's good money for like medium work, right? So it's not too shabby. All right, let's get this sucker back there and get working on them cars. Here we go, working Whittier now. We got to drop the coal gondola. And we got 2 Stenzel. So I know there's 1 or 2 at Stenzel now being turned out. I don't know if those are full yet. I haven't even looked at Whittier, to be honest. I think we got an oil. So we got a tanker up there and then 1 for the house track. So pretty easy peasy. Ayla. Thankfully nothing doing at Ayla. Ayla's just one of them places I'm not crazy about working. Like, I love the way the area looks, but working it is just not mi favorito. I'm going to start slowing down a little bit. There we go. We don't need to air up. We won't air up. Let's go ahead and release the handbrake on that. Hop back in the engine. All right, we go run past, kick the cars in front of the gondola. In fact, we can do that right now. Break. All right, tracks are nice and straight up there. Shoot. Shooty poot. All right, messed that up. All right, do we have enough room? We don't need to go too fast right here. So when you got a level, I'm going to say level playing field, but a level track, you should be okay. Let's go ahead and hop out. Try and kick this in backwards, and we're just going to leave it on that other engine track, repair track anyway. 5, 6, 7. Go ahead. All right, get out the way, train. There we go. Throw that switch. And we're gravy. I actually should have just re-tagged this one and taken it to Bryson, man. In hindsight, I should have done that. That's the thing, man. I try to think of all the angles, but just foul it up sometimes. Just the way it be. All right, I'll keep that sucker rolling down quite a while. Be nice to have a big old 80-tonner damn near too instead of the 50-tonner. So that'll be nice. We need to slow the locomotive down, smack into that tanker up there. We'll let it roll in just a skosh. And handbrake, good deal. All right, let's get out of here. So we've got Hollifield Heating and Oil in Stenzel, Washington. Release the handbrake. Go ahead and push it. No real reason to air up and lace up with these. Just a couple of curves. Release the handbrake on now. And so we're going to have to shove the tank and then pull the two. Well, there's actually Whittier house track and Stencil. There we go. 2 miles an hour. All to do it. That's it. Let's roll, baby. All right, so Stencil. All right, let's get up there. Okay then, guys, so we do have one here ready to go out. This one is, it's probably going to take another couple hours. I'm just going to leave it because I think you can fit 3 on here. So we'll pull that one out. Actually, we will release that handbrake, and see if we can push it down here without having to do anything with the loco. Because it is a little bit elevated. This is another spot kind of like the Sylva Lumber and Coal, or not Sylva, sorry, Bryson Lumber and Coal, where, you know, you got to be careful trying to shove these up in here. Let's see how much kind of momentum we can get down here with the little pinch bar action. Shift R. Yeah, it starts rolling pretty easily. So we need to get this puppy out of the way. Should roll down there okay. Yeah, I mean, you can tell it definitely has got a bit of a decline. And we got that over there on the house track, which we got to swap that one in the front. That should be easy enough. What I am going to do, listen to them flanges singing. What I am going to do is shove it with the engine and get it down there. I'll just push it down there on the main line. There's nothing coming anytime soon, so it should be all right. So we'll get ready right here. I actually could just leave it on the back of the engine, guys, for now. I think I'll do that. And we should be able to sling. There we go. It's a strong-ass handbrake, man. Thing must be empty, yeah. Yeah, I could just leave that on the back of there. And that being said, go and open them doors up to denote the emptiness. Skadoosh. All right, but we are going to need some running room. So these two bad boys on the back. Let's see if we can get this done, guys. All right, throw that. So I'm going to need to be on this side. Here we go again. Tomfoolery round number 2. All right, that ought to be good there. Here we go. 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 Want at least like 15 miles an hour. Go train, go. Shoot! Oh, that was so close. So close, man. All right, let's see if we can fit both of these suckers up there. I bet they won't make it. This is a pretty steep incline here. And they're gonna need to like bang into that other car. Kinda. Oh, we got them all in there, baby. 3 of them. Good deal. Little damage? Nah. So, they look like they were going pretty quick. I expected there to be a little damage. Okay, let's see. What now? What now? That one's there. We're going to shove that one straight on back. Let's go ahead and do a little shoving here. There we go. Boom, boom. We don't want that one going too far. Just means we got to get, you know, go farther just to get the damn thing. Gotta make sure she clears that switch. There we go. Doing 7 miles an hour. That ought to be alright. Go ahead and throw that. Independent. Alright, here we go. Juggle time. Handbrake on that. Reverse. Let that roll on down. Kaboom. There we go. Forward. Let's go get that car. And then I should probably check out Ayla. I don't think there's anything there ready to go yet. Ayla's pretty slow. It's one of those industries where, like, you're honestly okay with tier 1. Like, the big dogs are, you know, the paper mills and lumber and stuff like that. All right, we got that in now. Got paid for it. Timely. Thank you very much. All right, so we're going to run all the way back out. Oh, the switch is good. Okay. I was thinking for a minute it was turned up to Stenzel. Right on the top. So we got to get that one. We'll pull that, and then we'll sling this one out. Alright, we in there. So we just gotta back in, grab that one. And we should be biscuits and gravy. Reverse. Boom, there we go. Throw the switch. Kablammers. Back it on up. And we jamming, man. 9:30. Woo! And it seems like, you know, a decent usage of time. But, man, I tell you what, when this trackage gets longer and those tiers get higher, and you start working a paper mill, having to get all that pulpwood, and it can do you in. It indeedly can. All right, we got them glad hands, co-necomatid. We'll do it on there as well. Not going to worry about the front car, obviously, because we're slinging it backwards. There we go. Throw that switch again. So it should be straight. So the train will straighten on. And then. And then. All right, here we go. Come on, puppy. Give me 10. 9. 10, go. Ah! I totally just fouled up the cutoff, man. I stuck it to 100%. Essentially just blew the engine up. GG. GG, Sean. GG. All right, now we'll slide on back and we can get this old gal back on from where she came. Now, if there is at something at Ayla, I will allow the number 4, the Mastodon, to go get it on its way back to Sylva. Let's set this to road, reverse, max speed. Check our track. So I got the loads in the back, and they are on this track, I believe. Made it back to the yard, going a little quick, I do admit. So let's go ahead and slow that down. You don't want to go over these turnouts over 20, ideally, although I am guilty as hell of doing it much faster. When you hear that singing, you might be in trouble. So the audio is a cue for sure. A little bit more. Slow down a little bit more. We don't want to damage these. There it is. They're all tied on. I will go ahead and untie the handbrake on that one. And we'll tie the handbrake on that one. And so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And it's just mid-morning. One of these will probably be full. But like I said, I'm just going to wait till both of them are before I send them back. Same with these. Like if one of these are full or two, I just wait till they're all full. They usually go pretty quick. These, you know, if you skipped ahead an hour or two, then they'd go ahead and flatten out. Bryson is done. The passenger train just has to run back this way. So for this playthrough, I think that's going to do it, guys. Let me know what you think about the industry, though, going forward. As far as should we go with an up tier of the paper mill and buy some more skelly cars for logs, or should we start the paper mill going and get a couple of cars for the pulp racks? I think we are definitely going to need to get another engine if we go for number 2, that being the Sylva paperboard, because we'll need something to be able to run to the Barker's Creek spur, you know, and not have to worry about the mainline train doing all that work. But that's just a morning on the CSA, guys. Thanks for watching. Hopefully catch you next time. Take care. Bye.